cost to keep going. In order to cultivate the technique all the way to the stage of undying gold skin, the expenditure involved was simply terrifying. Even an entire sect would have a hard time forking over so much. After all, those resources could be used on other, less wasteful techniques. Although those other techniques weren't as marvelous, a sect had to consider what was most cost-effective. That was the main reason why the Undying Live Forever technique had ended up gathering dust in the scripture pavilion. After practicing cultivation for a bit, Baziashun gathered up the chicken bones and buried them in the nearby spirit soil, along with the feathers. Then he left his courtyard residence and found a place where the outer sect disciples tended to congregate, where he eavesdropped a bit to see if anyone was talking about the chicken being stolen. Based on his experience stealing chickens back in his village, he knew that the most optimal method was to only strike once every few days. After eavesdropping a bit, he didn't hear anyone mention anything about a missing chicken. However, during his eavesdropping, he also learned that the three-colored tail feathers of the spirit-tailed chickens could be used to kindle three-colored flames. Having learned this, Baziashun immediately trotted back to his courtyard residence and dug up the three-colored tail feathers out of the spirit soil. Then he sat there, studying them thoughtfully. No wonder they raise so many spirit-tailed chickens here. He immediately stored the three-colored feathers in his bag of holding. To others, such feathers were nothing more than kindling for three-colored flames. To him, though, they were fuel to perform threefold spirit enhancements. He didn't attempt to do so immediately, though. His plan was to get some spirit medicine first, then perform a spirit enhancement to make the medicine more powerful. After resting for a few days, Baziashun started getting hungry again one night. He put down the second volume of Plants and Vegetation and headed out into the darkness of night. When he returned, he had 2 more spirit-tailed chickens in his bag of holding. And that was how time passed by. Soon, a month had gone by, during which time, news about the missing spirit-tailed chickens began to spread on Fragrant Cloud Peak. Even Legends의 heard about the matter. After all, in only a month of time, a few dozen chickens had gone missing from the 3 spirit-tailed chicken farms. However, Legends의 didn't pay much attention to the matter, as he had important affairs to handle which ended up taking him off of the mountain. Most depressed of all were the 7